And we're here with none other than the awesome Lauren Powers. And hi, Lauren, how are you?
Hi, Caprice. I know we're both wearing our animalistic
I
attire
know we
today,
are. I know later we'll
right?
change. We're going to do a costume change before this show's over. Yeah,
We'll be twins again.
right, right.
If I
We didn't even call each other. We didn't plan it.
no
No,
members
great
needed.
minds think alike.
That's right. We manifested this.
Right. So I got to know Lauren, gosh, we've known each other maybe 6 months now. It was maybe 8 months. No, because it was
Christmas.
Christmas time. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And when Lauren enters a room, you notice her because she's very strong, strong exterior. She'll tell you more about her background, but a real champion, bodybuilding. And what I've learned about her in the last 8 months since I've known her is that has this just as strong of a interior. Her heart is strong. Her heart's huge, and it matches the strength of her exterior. And I've just grown to really be, just love this woman and what she offers. She's the author of a amazing book called Beneath the Muscle, which I think is such a brilliant title. And she's also there's Beneath the Muscle. It's a great book.
We'll talk.
And what I loved about that book is that, I mean, one of the things that you said in the book is that you didn't start bodybuilding, competing until you were 40. And that to me was just like, wow, it's never too late. I'm weak in the consistent physical fitness area. I need your help. And that is that was inspiring to me, that you didn't start and you became such a champion, after 40. She's also the founder of a program called the Fierce Fit Formula. And so I wanted to just start by, one thing before I ask my first question, Lauren, is this is called Value Added Tuesday in the HeartLink Network. So every other Tuesday on the opposite weeks that we actually hold our virtual HeartLink Network meetings, I do the Value Added Tuesday to bring more value into this community. And we always have some activity that's going on. Sometimes it's interviewing and learning from someone. Sometimes it's some kind of posting contest. There's usually a prize, which there will be prizes today that Lauren will share with you towards the end here. If you are interested in possibly winning these prizes, one or both, then you would want to watch this episode and comment what you learned. Something. It could be just one thing. It could be a few things. Anything that stood out from you for you about what Lauren shared today. Just put it in the comments, and then you'll be entered into the drawing. You can watch it live now, or you can watch it on replay. Put pound replay so we know you're watching it, and then you'll be entered into the contest if you do that by midnight tonight. And we'll do the drawing tomorrow. Lauren and I will pop back on here tomorrow and do a live drawing. So Lauren, I love to ask my friends to start with, what made you want to go into the field you're into? What was that inspiring moment that made you decide, at 40 that, I'm going to be a champion bodybuilder?
That really time to have. It's actually a whole story in itself, Caprice, because my goal as a little girl was never to grow up to be a bodybuilder, as I'm sure a lot of your listeners is, or the goal to be this, powerhouse with muscles, and nor was it mine. I kind of fell into it, and my little background story is, when Laguna Beach burnt down, I used to live in Laguna in '93. I wanted to give back to my community. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I can be a firefighter, right? Didn't know anybody that was a firefighter, didn't really hang out with firefighters, didn't know any of the process. I went to a station in Newport Beach because I didn't know one guy. And I said, hey, I want to join this. How do I do this? I want to get back to my community and put out fires. And he starts laughing at me. He's like, hello, you have to go to school. And I'm like, school? I haven't been to school in like 15 years. I went to school in Hawaii. And here I am at like 33 years old and a female. And he's like looking at me going, okay. So he told me where to go. I made a phone call to the college, because you have to go to all these classes. ended up enrolling in 21 units right away. Was the very next week the semester started. Just embedded myself in this whole series to become a firefighter. And I did it as fast as you possibly can, like taking all the classes, boom, 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 knocked them all out, end up being number one in every single class. Not to brag, there's a reason for this. It's just because I was so dedicated for being the age I was and being a gal in this whole thing with 20-year-old, 18, 19, 20-year-old boys. And here I am, this grown woman going, okay, I want to do this. I put my little ball cap on and my shorts and went with my backpack and went to school with all these boys. It was quite an experience. Went through the whole thing, ended up passing the physical agility after 14 tries. This kind of led me to where I'm at today as far as the strength comes in, because it was really hard. It was like being in the military, because I went full time to the academy. I was in the 100th. It was a big deal that there was a female in there. The OCN back then, Orange County News, came out and documented the whole story. It was a big deal. The graduation was at the Anaheim, what's now the Honda Center, but it was at the Pond. You remember that? Mm-hmm. All the fire academies 1 through 99 had all participated. So it was a really, really big deal. It was the largest graduation like ever in history. And then of course I'm in it, right? Did the whole thing, worked for 2 different cities. I worked for Santa Ana Fire, which was a big deal as reserve. I was reserve captain, or actually chief in the training. And then I worked in for my local town as a reserve. Anyways, long story short, I ended up being discriminated against, Caprice, after I had dedicated my entire life to this. I'm going to get a little upset because it was so devastating, because I've tried so hard and worked so hard to be this. And the men didn't want me. And it was very, very hurtful, because it was clearly because I was a female going to be, and so aggressive. And I got promoted to engineer during a lawsuit, because there was 3 women that we all got discriminated against. It was a big deal. I had to sit through 100. It was 35 depositions, all the way from the fire chief down to the dispatcher, and hearing why these guys didn't want to work with women. It was awful. However, on a positive note, that discrimination really launched me into being this powerhouse now that's vulnerable, clearly. But I didn't let that take me down, Caprice. And I think that's the message here. That could have destroyed me as a person and given up. Instead, it fueled me, and I kept training. And there was the lawsuit. And the whole thing was I didn't have that body strength to do the jobs and tasks and duties of a firefighter. And so on. Yeah, it was crazy. So I had a big trainer in my hometown of Laguna Beach that was so mad at this that he trained me like so crazy. When people used to stop in the gym and watch us, I had big weighted vests on. I'm doing step ups and grunting, and he's screaming at me. It was like insane. But he built me into this body, and it wasn't to become a bodybuilder. It was to defend myself in a lawsuit. So a lot of people don't really know this whole backstory. So I don't know. I wonder why I'm being so vulnerable sharing.
Yeah,
but this is heart link, right? I come from the heart. And that's pretty much, it was a big deal at the time. However, since I was a strong bodybuilder, I went to a big show in Las Vegas. It's called the Olympia. It's one of the largest shows in the world besides the Arnold Classic. I was just walking around there. It's my first time. I'd never been to anything like that. And I literally, from that moment, Caprice, I was picked up off the floor. I was recruited onto national TV to go on some major talk shows. From there, they flew me from Las Vegas to Chicago, went on TV, started telling my story, became this big personality on national TV, came back. By the time I even came back from Chicago, I was doted a celebrity bodybuilder. I hadn't even competed yet. And this whole thing just went crazy. So the message is, when that door closed as being a firefighter, literally, I talk about this on stage, is that the world opened up for me. And it really has. And what I did is I got out of my own way, and I didn't force this thing. Because the reason I was crying, because it was so hurtful, because I put myself in it so hard, and I'm used to getting what I want. You know what I mean? I'm an only child. My whole life, I don't know any difference. It's, again, not to boast or brag about it at all. When I put my mind to something, I set the intention, I do it, and I manifest it. And I've done this before there was words to it, since I was a little girl. And so now, the same thing with this whole thing happened. I just lost my train of thought. Well, I was at the Olympia, got discovered, went on stage, and winning a big contest. They thought it was a plant. It was so crazy. And the girl that won, she was so mad. She's like, she's a fix. She's fixed. It's da, 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 and all right. And I'm like, here, take my t-shirt. I didn't care, lady. Here you go. But what happened, Caprice, it was actually to go to the Arnold Classic, which Arnold Schwarzenegger for the largest event in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, it was huge. It was airfare, hotel, and VIP with Arnold, all the events with him, dinner, the whole thing, pictures. So it was a big deal. And I won it, right out of the bat. Didn't even know what I was doing. So just threw myself into this. Now I'm this like celebrity bodybuilder on TV and all this stuff. Ended up becoming a SAG actress, done so many different documentaries on my life since then. I think like 9 or 10 they counted from True Hollywood. They came and filmed me at my house, like all kinds of stuff. But
oh my gosh, how fun.
Yeah, so crazy. Yeah, and it's been fun. It's been a journey because what I learned is I just got out of my own way, didn't force something, and that's another F word. You can't force your path, and be fearful of what life brings to you. You have to replace fear with faith. That's a big thing of mine. And I just went on a journey that doors flew open. The world was my oyster. I made a big splash in Hollywood, which has been exciting, but doesn't define me. And that stuff's all in the book. My whole story, like all these little things that have happened to me, or big things, depends on how you look at it. I've created, a message around each one. For example, don't give up. Don't let other people judge you and define who you are, because as women we tend to fall into this pattern that they say it, so it must be. Well, this is nonsense, you guys. I mean, we all are enough. We all are meant for more. We all have a message and a purpose. And I believe now my purpose, I've changed all this thing. Yeah, I got into bodybuilding. Just back up real quick. Went into a few contests, like 10. That I ended up winning.
What was your first one like? Having never been in the contest.
You said that I was 40. That's exactly correct. Because the whole firefighting career took all that time. By the time I worked for 2 departments and all the academy and the training and the recruiting and all, it was a long process. But when I was done with all that, and went to the Olympia, there was a famous photographer, and he's like, I won't photograph you till you become a bodybuilder. And I'm like, well, what do I have to do to that? He's like, you have to win some shows. I'm like, are you kidding me? What do I do to that? And I just looked it up, and I didn't know anything about bodybuilding or competing, or I've never even been to a fitness show. If any rate one, I come to find out now, because I'm a promoter in the industry, but back then I didn't totally talk about green. Didn't even have a posing suit, the right, attire to compete in, none of that. I just show up and end up connecting, of course, again, building relationships, connecting with one of the gals that looked like she was going to win. And so she was so nice, because I was nice to her. We both had the same song we were going to do a routine to, was American Woman, Lenny Kravitz. And I was in a red, white, blue bikini. She was in a red, white, blue correct posing suit. And I'm like, you know what? I'll do my routine in a different category, novice, because I was brand new, and she was supposed to win. So she helped me a lot and took me under her wing. And she's like, what are you doing? How long have you been dieting? I'm like, I haven't. She's like, what? You look like that? She was so mad at me because she hadn't eaten a carb in like 6 weeks or something. For real.
Oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
And, I know, poor thing. And she's like, well, have you practiced your routine? When you get started on stage or off stage? I'm like, I haven't practiced at all. She's like, are you kidding me? I've been practicing for 12 weeks. And she's like visualizing and everything backstage. And I'll never forget this. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm going over my routine. And I'm like, I don't even have one. I just go out and wing it, literally. And she goes, wow, well, how can you do that? I said, well, that way I can't forget it. And the poor thing, she went out there, and it's my fault or what, because I brought it up. She went out and froze during her routine, and deer in the headlights, and the whole audience. It was packed auditorium, all the judges. I mean, she was destined to win. It was just, I'm like, I'm going next, right? I'm like, oh my God.
You totally messed up her psyche.
I know, I felt horrible.
Oh gosh.
And then I just go out there and wing it to my song, and had a blast, and stuff, ended up winning my category. And the rest is history. Yes, I did the show before my 40th birthday. I guess I had to live as 1 week. That was on December 7th. My birthday's on December 13th when I turned 40. So that really launched my career at 40. It's easier to say.
That's awesome.
Yeah, then I went, I got a bunch of trophies, and I went on to Muscle Beach, and I competed in novice, heavyweight and masters. Novice because I was new, heavyweight because I was huge, and masters because I was old.
So
Right?
what do the firefighters say now?
Well, that's a whole nother story. It was,
Okay, maybe
yeah,
we don't have time for that, but
I
you
know,
showed
right?
them.
Yeah, just just the messages. I just kept going, and
Yeah.
yes, I did it to inspire people. I continue the career. My big claim to fame is I won an overall title at 40, and literally a decade later, I came back and won the same title.
Wow, that's
And
great.
so, because
Congrats.
I made it, like we talk about Caprice and health and wellness, I made that style of living my lifestyle. Literally, it
Hmm.
wasn't just diet, win a show, and then go off season and get fat again and all this. I literally, because of the career I chose, I didn't have the luxury to go off season, which when they bulk up and all this, it look
Hmm.
they almost look fat. Let's
Hmm.
just be real here.
Yeah.
I've been around a long time now, but because I was always in Hollywood. So my agent would call me. He's like, Lauren, you have an audition tomorrow at 5 o'clock. You have to be in a bikini. And I'm like, right. So if I was off season, I wouldn't get the roles that I did. And as I mentioned, I've had the opportunity and, very blessed to get a lot of work through the years.
So before you start, because I want to, before you get into your tips, the second half of this,
Okay.
I do want you to share a little bit about the fun things in the entertainment industry you've been able to do. And I'd actually like to pull up one of the videos,
Oh,
the JB
I feel
one.
like I'm on the Oprah show or something.
I know.
And you're surprised.
I know, prizes. I know, trying to make it fun here in the Heartlink Network.
No, I love
And there's some people watching right now. I just want to say hello to Rosalie's on the line,
Oh, I love Rosalie.
Michelle
I do great.
Gregory, Betty Simon, who else? Kari Woodson's on the line here with us, Kate Champion, Susan Lopez. Hi, guys. Hi, Terry.
Hi,
Bill.
ladies. I like that name, Champion.
Yeah, that's another good one. Powers and
I
Champion.
build
We need to get together.
champion.
And then Sylvia Hoekstra is on the line. So thank you so
Hi.
much for joining us. So I'm going to have you talk while I run up and get a prop.
Okay.
It is
Are
like
you
the
going to
Oprah
put
show.
the video on, or what do you want me to say?
Well, I was just going to
Literally, I
do
have a
like
lot to say. I'm like, blah, 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 blah.
okay, which video is it? And I'll share the screen. Tell me
You're
which
talking to
video.
me? I don't know.
What's the name on YouTube? The video, the name of the video.
Which one?
The JB one.
Oh, Justin.
Yeah, talk about the Justin Bieber one.
Oh, that one. Okay, I've done a lot.
Okay, what's the name?
Yummy.
Yummy. Okay. So
That's the
that's
latest
cool.
one
So
I did.
talk about some just for a few minutes while we're watching this or before we